few minutes to that event or hangout, you can make this top because it's not going to take you more than 15 minutes, highest 20 minutes, trust me. And to make this top, you are going to need less than a yard of fabric. Except if it's going to be on a bigger size, you might need more than half a yard of fabric, trust me. If this looks like something you're interested in, kindly watch this video to the end. Thank you. For this project, I'm going to be making use of this Dutchess fabric. You can make use of a silk fabric, it is suitable, and at the same time you can make use of any fabric you can lay your hands on, any color of your choice. Although you can do this directly on your fabric, but I'll suggest you do it on a pattern paper first. So the first thing I'll do is to draw a vertical line and horizontal line, which is going to be the shoulder and the center front line. After this, I'm going to take my vertical measurements, which includes the bust points, under busts, waist, and the top length. But because this is going to be like an off shoulder, we are going to start our measurement from 4 inches or 5 inches. This totally depends on how deep you want the neck depth to be. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to take the top length between 20 to 23 inches. It totally depends on you. So you're going to start the measurement from that 4 or 5 inches. This is a cow neck, and you want to keep in mind the depth of the neckline. Alright, so you want it to be more deep. That means you're going to start from either 5 or 6 inches, but 4 okay is enough. Alright, so after this now, I'm going to take all other vertical points, which include my bust point line, my under bust, my waist, and the top length. Then I'm going to connect with a straight line. Then after that, I went ahead to label all the lines, as you can see. Now you come to the bust point and divide your bust circumference measurements into 4. Whatever value you have, you're going to measure and mark on the bust point line. So I'm going to divide mine using this tape like so. So if you're confused, you can just fold your tape into 4. Then you mark it like so. So whatever you mark on the bust point, you're going to mark on the chest line, and you're also going to mark on the waistline. So that starting point line is going to be the chest line. Remember the way we used to have it on our tube top. So then you're going to connect the points with a straight line like so. After this, you want to create the basque effect at the front of the top. You can either maintain the top length, and if you want it longer, you can just add to your top length. Alright, so I'm going to be adding to this because I feel like it's going to be short and I want it to come out a little bit. Alright, because I want the basque waistline effect to show very well. So you can either make yours basque by connecting with a straight line to the top length, just like this that you see me doing, or better still, you just connect with a slight curve if you want the hem of the top to be curved, like to have a round hem line like this one. So this totally depends on what you want, and this part is going to be cut on fold, and at the same time this upper part is going to be cut on fold. All right, so just go ahead and label like this, cutting on fold, just for reference purpose in the future if you want to use it later. Then you can also go ahead and write the measurement, the bust, and the top length. All right, and that will be all for the pattern drafting. Then we are just going to cut, and cut. The cutting is also simple. If you are finding this video helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up by clicking on the like button, click on the share button, subscribe to the channel if you are yet to do so. Thank you. Now to the fabric. The upper part and the center front part is going to be on fold. Just like what I did here, I fold the fabric into 2, then I fold it again, and I place my pattern on it. So I'm going to place my pattern on it to be sure if it's going to be enough. As you can see, this is more or less like a scrap fabric that I have at home, and I feel like I just want to do this, and let me just share. So I've folded my fabric to ensure that I have sewing allowance by the side, then I place my pattern on it. So this fabric is kind of, you know, it's a silky, or it's a silk fabric, so I had to hold it down with enough pin. Okay, so after this now you're going to place your pattern on your fabric and make sure that it aligns very well. If you have to place something on it to hold it down, kindly do so. Then you're going to be adding half an inch allowance by the side and at the hem of the top. Then after adding it, you're going to cut out your pattern. So go ahead and add your half an inch allowance all round. Okay, then you're going to cut out your pattern. Then this is what you're going to have. So if you want to have a reversible, or you want to have a two-sided top, instead of having the upper part to be on fold, just join the two fabrics together. That means you're going to be having a joining. Then I'm going to be notching this part so that I will know the center and where to place my rope. So guys, I've went ahead to cut out this strip of fabric. I'm still going to be cutting it to two to make my rope, so you can make it as long as you want, at least 2 yards, so 1 yard for each side, because you're going to be needing two. So guys, I've went ahead to sew my rope, and from it I'm going to be cutting out my loop. After this, now you come in with your main bodice. The first thing we're going to do now is to create our loop, So I already have this rope here, which I'm going to use for my loop, and I'm going to be cutting 2 inches for each, and I'm going to have about 4 loops altogether. So you can have just 2, and at the same time you can have 4. This totally depends on the effect you are going to have. So this one is going to be here at the extreme end, and this one is going to be like almost half of this line. Then I'm going to be cutting another 2 for the other side. Okay, so you can just measure from the center, which is the upper part, can measure down to your bust point line just to be a guide, or you divide that line into 2 and place the second loop there. All right, but as for this upper part, there will be no loop. It's just the rope that will be there. I already stitched down the loops, and as you can see, this is what I have. Okay, we're going to be stitching down on one side. Then at this upper part, I'm going to be placing my rope. So for this rope that I made here, I'm going to cut it into 2 equal half so that I have the same value on both sides. So I'm going to place it like so, then I'm going to pin it down. All right, because we are going to be flipping the other side of the fabric on it, and we are going to be stitching it down. So after this, now you are going to place this other fabric on it like so. You pack all the ropes, you put it inside, because we are going to stitch it round. Okay, I'm going to stitch round all these sides. Then I'm going to be leaving about 1 to 1.5 inches space where I'm going to be turning out. This is just like when we are trying to have our total finishing. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So you're going to leave that 1 inch where you are going to turn out the main fabric. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now and stitch down the sides. So guys, I'm done doing that, and this is what I have. Then I have this opening here, that 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So that is where I'm going to be bringing out my top. So I'm just going to grab the rope. This will make it easier for me to turn. Just go ahead and do the same thing, and because we do not have too much volume and this fabric is flexible, so it will be easier to turn out. So after turning out like this, I'm going to top stitch on that space that I have, that opening, 1 inch opening that I have. So go ahead and do the same thing. You can either use your sewing machine or use your hemming stitch. I would not suggest hemming gun because hemming gun might pull off. Then after this, you give it a proper press. Please, if you are making use of a silk fabric or a very lightweight fabric, work on a low heat. Okay, and if it is a cotton or heavyweight or middleweight fabric, then you can just find a way to maintain the heat of the iron. Guys, that'll be all for this tutorial. It's very simple, straightforward, and it doesn't take much of time. I'm just going to do my finishing and I'm going to fit it. You already see the outcome in the beginning of the video, so there will be no need to fit it any longer. Kindly like the video, share, and drop your comments. Till next time we meet again. Bye bye and take care of yourself.